morning, everybody, and I hope you all can see me and hear me okay.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, I can see you. I can see you and hear.
Perfect.
Good
And
morning, sir. Yes, we can hear you, we can see you.
that's awesome. How is everybody doing?
Yeah, hanging there. You're doing okay by the grace of God.
Amen to that. Yeah, yeah. Just one step. Just take one step at a time, but always keep pressing on. Always keep moving forward because that's key. And and for some of you who are maybe joining online right now, my name is Emmanuel. I am I'm the founder and also the CEO of Transform to Succeed. So I help people acquire skills to change careers, and especially in the IT field, and primarily cloud and DevOps. And today, what I want to share with you all is how you can leverage artificial intelligence first to create a professional and good looking resume for actually any job today. And I don't know how many of you have been using artificial intelligence, like Chat GPT would be one, and there's there are actually a lot of tools that you can use for the same purpose. So, how many of you have been using Chat GPT or any other platform?
Yeah, I've used it, but not much.
So,
The chat GPT.
okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna explain how this works. Chat GPT, it's one of the what they call like open high, one of artificial intelligence tools that's up out there. I'm not going to go deeper in like the underlying infrastructure and how this works, but it relies on what they call machine learning. So I will not explain what this is all about, and you can use a variety of building tools to construct or build your machine learning. So you have a bunch of these tools out there.
Sorry,
Though,
sir.
yes,
Is the session recorded?
yeah, it should be.
Thank you.
It's being recorded and also it's live. All right. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I'll take you to my browser here, quick. So we're gonna go to the browser. So if you just you can what I would recommend you to do is just type in Chat GPT. It's one of the most popular tools that you find out there. So I'm gonna make it a little bit wider here. Okay, that's much better. And you all can see my screen, okay, right?
Yes, sir.
So refer to it as an open artificial intelligence, open AI, and I'm gonna just encourage you to use the chat GPT here. So if you click here, first you just browse or search for chat GPT. And when you do that, you're gonna either you can either use the one on the browser. That'll be one way to use it. Personally, what I've done, I've downloaded it on my computer, and I also have it as an application on my devices. So some people, they still resist the idea that, hey, this will be taking over, or this will be making people lazy. You know, when the calculator came out, that's the same thing people say. Society say, oh, humans will stop thinking. It's gonna kill our brain or our intelligence or something like that. ChatGPT, I'll tell you what, because I'm already working for some of the major IT companies here in America, in the US. And all of these companies, they have integrated artificial intelligence into our daily operations. IBM, they developed their own artificial intelligence, and that's the beauty of this. So the infrastructure it's kind of like the same, but you can customize that to meet your business requirements or business goals. The same with you. You can use this and just make it your own. It's like your administrative assistant. It's like your secretary doing the work for you. And that's how this works. And you should view this as someone you ask questions to all the time. Like today we have Siri, we have what's the Android one similar to Siri? Sorry, I'm just an Apple guy. Is it Lexus or something? Alexis? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So you have Siri, and then that's kind of like what we have now. Now we have this tool that you can talk to and ask any questions you want, and this tool will give you everything you want and the way you want it. And you have to leverage this. For me, I look at ChatGPT or any OpenAI as a productivity tool. Like when I write my codes, I say, hey, I need this. It's gonna give me whatever I asked for. But is it going to be perfect? Never. But I have to perfect it. So you have to take that, you as a human, as a human being, then you look at everything and say, hey, this, I need to fix this, I need to change this, and then you have to test your stuff. A lot of content writers are now using OpenAI to help them brainstorm or even get going on whatever they want to create as content. You use it in technology, you use it in even in teaching now. You know, at the universities, even though some people are kind of saying, oh, no, don't do that, but it's going to replace the way we even use Google for searching for anything. All right, so back to, I'm gonna go back here. So what I've done, this is the latest ChatGPT 4.0 now available. So you click here, and you should be able to get to a place like this one here. You should land on the page like this here. So this is the link here. Click on the link. It's gonna take you to this page here, and this is you're gonna get either a free account or you can pay for that. So this is kind of like a demo and showing you how you can leverage this and use it to help you with the different goals you may have. And if you do continue here, and you can even use a PDF, kind of like import or insert a PDF or a picture, and then say, hey, tell me more about this. It's gonna break this down for you easily. So when after you go through your to that demo I just showed you, you will land finally on this page here, and this is your page. You see here, if you look at the bottom here, you see it's me because I'm already logged in. I'm logged in, and then you can see some of the things that I've done before. If you go to the top right here, you have the different things that you can also take advantage of. So I don't want you to worry about a lot of this stuff here. But what I wanted to show you is to work on creating or writing a resume as an IT professional. So how would you do that? And then how you can use this tool to take care of that. And some of you I have already talked about this, and I've shown you how you can do it just using your, perfecting your resume. You can also download this on your desktop. I'll show you, like my entire screen here. I have downloaded this here. If I open, it's gonna take me to this here. See here. So you once you install this application on your desktop computer, I have it on all of my devices, as I told you earlier. So I have this, and you can either just use this here. I'll just use that. I'll minimize that so that we can focus on this one here. So this is when you have already installed the application on your device. You see if I can make it bigger. Can I? Probably not. I'll just revert back to here. And for now, we'll just get rid of that. So this is what we have. And remember, the goal is to learn how you can create a resume. So if you click on new chat, you're gonna see at the bottom here, say send message. This is where you start typing. You start typing here. But before, like in our case, and I'll give you like a template that you can use to create a professional resume here. I'm gonna give it to you. Give me a moment. I need to fix something here quick. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna show you some of the points, and I'll give you the template at the end of the session here. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand, you need to do is you have to gather your the key information that you need, right? So you're gonna need to have the information that you're gonna need to use for your resume. You're gonna need something like personal details. Personal details, that would be name, that would be email, phone number, LinkedIn. Remember, this is for a job, so it has to be. You have to include LinkedIn as well as GitHub for IT professionals. So you're gonna have those handy, and then the next thing you're gonna have to provide like a summary statement. This is to show off what you have done and what you can do for the next company or the next job that you're applying for. You need work experience. And for some of you who have been my students, you have work experience through T2S, Transform to Succeed. You eventually need a list of skills. These would be like Linux. This would be like DevOps related skills and cloud related skills. You're gonna add education. And then I'll give all of this this documentation to you all. Actually, I'll post it on Slack. So the other thing that you need to have handy is that you have to define your goal, right? You have to define your goal. So one, gather information, key information. Two, you're gonna define your goal, because this is very important. You need to know what you're applying for. Is this going to be a cloud engineer role? Is this going to be a DevOps geared position? Is this going to be a software developer? You are not a software developer because I only train you for cloud and DevOps. You have to be very specific. And sometimes you may need to tailor the resume in a way that it focuses on a specific job, because each job has some specific skills that they require. It may be called a DevOps engineer. Like in the past, I did a contract for a company for DevOps and cloud. It was a cloud and DevOps, AWS and DevOps engineer role. But the need, the specific skills they needed were Ansible, primarily Terraform, Docker, and what else? And also Elastic Container Service. Those were like the major things that I did. So when you see a job like that, you may need to kind of like tailor your resume in a way that it's gonna say to the recruiter that, hey, I have what you require for this role. So you really need to be clear about what you want to do. And step number 3, we're gonna provide Chat GPT with the above. So 1 and 2, we're gonna provide it here. So we're gonna provide this. So when you tell ChatGPT clearly what you want, it's gonna give you the best responses, and it saves you time. But if you don't clarify on what you are not even clear about what you want, it's the same, with humans. When you're dealing with humans, when you're not clear about what you want, everybody around you will get confused. So it's very important to clarify on your goal, to clarify on what you want. In life, people that are successful are people who are so clear about their goals, about their mission in life, about their priorities. And then because of that, when they wake up early in the morning, they are gonna they will align everything on their calendar for that specific day to make sure that everything will help them achieve their goals. So as a human being, if you don't know what you are about in this universe, you don't know your mission, even if they give you $1 million today, you're gonna waste it because you have no clear goals. So you have to understand first, I need to know what I want. And I've told you, or some of you, or most of you, that that when I did my first ever training in IT, like a professional here in the US, there were so many people in the group. You're talking about over 100 people. And if you ask some of the people who were in that group how many completed the program and how many were able to get a job, you're going to realize that probably less than 5%. Then you may say, what went wrong? That it's not about what went wrong. It's about what is it that you want to accomplish, or how do you want to use this knowledge? And I remember at the beginning of that training, which was a 7-month training, I was clear about what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was just Linux, and then eventually grow into DevOps and cloud from the very beginning. So I had the plan. And then eventually, after 7 months, I had to take a break because I was going through some transitions in life, moving from Iowa to South Dakota and stuff like that. But I took a break, and then when I came back, it was like, it was a big comeback because I was able to land my first IT job. Why? Because I knew what I wanted. So now, also, that you may have as many pieces of technology as possible, but if you are not clear about your goals in life, they wouldn't really serve you much. So clarify on these things here. Clarify on your goal first, and then translate that into what you want ChatGPT to help you with. And that's what we're gonna do next. So I'm gonna help you write something here. And sometimes you may ask for, like when you look at the first thing here, the information here, you may just ask for something generic. It doesn't have to be very specific. But what's more important is number 2 here, because this is where you're gonna also define how the skills that you have acquired will help you secure a nice job. Any questions so far? All right, we're gonna go back here, but I'll show you. I'm gonna put, if you go to Slack, for those who are enrolled in at least one of the programs that we offer. So if you go to Slack, look at the notes recording channel. I'm gonna add there the document that will help you work with ChatGPT. So I'm gonna just add it here, and if you go to Slack, you're gonna see it there posted. So you're gonna follow this documentation here, and this documentation will guide you on how you can leverage ChatGPT. So these are the pieces of information that you may need to have, and these are examples that we can use. So you can copy something like this and then put it into your chat. Actually the box, the prompt on ChatGPT website, then it's gonna pretty much give you something close to what you may need to get going. So let's go back here. So we go back to our website here. You already have your Chat GPT on, and you're signed in, like in my case here. And the reason you do this, it's because you want to save your history, you want to keep track of what you've been doing, and once you have this, so on a different, you can have like a text application that you have, or document, or Word document, or Google, and then type in the kind of things that you need. So let's start here. We're gonna start here. I'm gonna type in something. So you can write something as simple as this one here, right? Or you can say, give me a resume for, this is very generic. It's just, you can start with one thing and then you can build upon that, upon the first outcome. Give me a resume for, like you can say, give me a resume for DevOps, because that's what you have trained for, and AWS, because that's what you have done so far. Engineer, and you can do something like this. Just this should give you something to start with, and give it some time. You see what it's doing here. So even without following the template or the document that I've given you, but you can just start with this one here. So just typing in this phrase, this sentence, and then it gives you a sample resume here for DevOps and AWS Cloud Engineer. What you do, you can copy this and put it on Microsoft Word document, and then you can adjust this to meet your professional experience and skills that you have. And you see, ChatGPT is using one of the best templates that's being used already. So it pretty much just that this resume would meet the requirements, because a lot of recruiting companies, they go by some metrics that they have to watch, or lines, and the way you structure your sections. Like here you have your professional experience. This would be like you can, like, say here, DevOps and Cloud Engineer, and then you have our company here, Transform to Succeed, and then how many years of experience that you have been you have had through T2S, and then you can change this to meet some of the projects that you have worked on here at T2S. Let me give you an example. Like with this one here, you can, for instance, let's go to GitHub. GitHub, this is where we store a lot of projects that we have worked on. All of these projects can, I mean, if you have worked on a project like this one here for a client, then this is experience. So you can just copy some of these things. Let's say this pertains to something that you've done at T2S. That's your professional experience. All of these, they show off the skills that you already have acquired. And like when you go to this one here, and we'll look at this during the second session of our time here. Like this one here, it's using Terraform. So that's a skill. And you can just copy this one here, because this is a project that you have worked on for a company, right? For T2S, which is a training and consulting company. So you copy this, then you go back here. You can do something very interesting here. For instance, you can say, hey, use this link to add, use this link, comma, and then add the skills to my resume above. Something like this. I mean, it's like talking to somebody, right? So I do this and watch what will happen here. So ChatGPT will go back to the memorized or cached information, and then it's gonna use that and say, okay, so I need to use that again. And you see, it's gonna update the skills. And it's gonna integrate the URL that we asked ChatGPT to use. So based on the GitHub repository you provided, you see here, Here's how to incorporate relevant skills and details about the blue-green deployment into the resume. The revised skills, so they revised the skills section, and then they added a brief mention of the project under the projects section. So let's go to the skills here. You see, because of we're using Terraform as part of the blue-green deployment. So they use that, and also they incorporated Git, because you're using Git here. And then the projects, they added this here. You see how useful this thing is. See? So before we didn't have a specific project defined. It was just like this here. But now we have this. So it shows that you did a real world case scenario project. And ChatGPT just summarized that project to show off the kind of tools that the types of tools that you used for this specific project. So you see how cool this tool is? This is amazing. Any questions? All right, perfect. So what I want you to do now is just play with this. I mean, this is, I mean, you can practice. You can practice this. You know, practice always makes us perfect, right? Or better. So do that, and then take advantage of what we have done. Because every project we have put our hands on, those are projects for companies, clients. And that's professional, your professional experience. And then on, you know, for all of you who are enrolled or were enrolled in one of my programs, yeah, you know how to get a hold of me. You want me to look at your resume after using ChatGPT and then creating something. It will be more professional. Then we can get together. Just let me know, and then we can schedule a time, a day and a time to get together. And one thing that I've always encouraged people to do is, you know, when you do this, do not only have one resume, because what you can do, you can go back here and say, give me 5 variations of this resume. So it's gonna give you 5 types of resume. When you start applying for a job, don't use only one resume. Ask me how many resumes I have. I have probably 25. I have resumes for as an affiliate professor for theology and Bible stuff. I have a resume for human resources management because I trained at some point for that too. And don't think that I'm crazy or something, but yeah. So I have like 10 or 15 types of resumes for just IT jobs. So like I would say, let's say I want to get there's a contract that I want to do maybe for 3 months or 6 months. that I can do in the evening or something like that, or I can do using Pacific time, and you know, then I can gear my resume, towards something like that. And so this is what you get. So you can, they give you like this here because we only have like one project only. So you can add different projects there to make it a little bit longer, but usually stick with 2 pages or a resume with 2 pages or 1 page and a half. Make it as brief as possible, but straight to the point. So that's why you have to start with the professional summary here, because a professional summary in just 1 or 2 sentences, it can tell the recruiter what you have done and what kind of value that you may add to the company that's looking for someone like you. The skills that display things that you know and you have experience with. That's your expertise here. Most recruiters, they look at this here and that, and that's it. So they start here, and then they will go to professional experience to see what you have done with other companies. And if it's a company that they don't know much about it, and usually they give a call. Like for T2S, they will give me a call. They'll give me a call and say, has this person worked on projects with T2S or through T2S or something like that? Then I'll say, yeah. And I've been the supervisor and mentor or something like that. So you do this, and they're gonna look at the skills, professional experience, and that's why you need to have these sections on your first page. Because if you have 3-4 pages, they don't get to 2 pages. Most recruiters, they only stay on page number 1. So they look at page number 1. So if it doesn't give them what they were looking for, then they will drop your application. They will just ignore your application. You use variations to give you different types of resumes that you may need. Any questions? When you look at the key information, key pieces of information that you need to provide, include your address. They always need to know where you are. Most companies, they may require candidates that live in an English-speaking country or French-speaking country, if this is a French-speaking company, or but most of them, they require you to know English. So it's very helpful when you say that you live in the U.S. So include that. They would want your email to communicate with you, your phone number to give you a call if they want to get to know you more and better. And they need a LinkedIn profile. And to create a LinkedIn profile, that's another thing that you can use. You can do actually here, like give me a LinkedIn profile related to the above resume, something like this. So if you do this, then press enter, and it's gonna create kind of like you see here, it's asking you to upgrade. And so you get, that's the limitations of using free stuff. But I use this. I use a pro version on my computer. So if you do this, it's gonna give you. Let me see if I can do it here. Okay. Yeah, this is just an example. You can either upgrade it. I don't know the pricing. What's the pricing again? It should be like 60. Let me see here. Yeah, this is it. So a month, it's a year, it's $60. And I have this one here. So you can do that. Any questions?
Yes, sir. I would like to know, because you said you have different kind of resumes. So you want to, how many LinkedIn um, like profile? No, is it the last link that we wanted the GPT to create for us for LinkedIn? Do you have that for each resume you have, or?
Yeah, well, you have the LinkedIn. Uh, LinkedIn only requires you to have one account. You can't have, yeah, you can't have two. I mean, you can have one active account and the other one will be probably hibernated and stuff like that. That's what I have. I have two. One is active, the other one is paused. And then you only use one resume on LinkedIn. So what you can do is you have variations, like you can have three kinds of resume for the same role, like AWS and cloud engineer role. So you have that, you have three kinds, and you can say, okay, so I'm gonna test a variation number one for like 2 weeks, and once then if it gives you some track or some attention and more visibility, meaning that you receive emails or phone calls off of using that resume, then you do the same with resume number two and number three. Then you decide what's best, what is performing best, and that's what you keep. So that's what they call like an A/B testing or something like that. So you begin with testing one. If for a week or 2 weeks, you can test it like for 7 days, and then you send applications out. Then you compare with variation two, variation three, whatever performs the best. That's what you keep, and then you can now build upon the best performing resume. So I do that. But the LinkedIn profile here, you only need just one resume. You upload one, and you can upload the other one to replace the previous one. And I think LinkedIn has the option of excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah. So you have LinkedIn. You can keep the previous versions of your uh, your your resume. So did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if by changing too much resume, when a recruiter sees my resume, my profile, my LinkedIn profile, they see the resume that I've posted there, and it's according to that resume that they are interested in me, and then they call me or email me.
Yeah.
Now, when I have to
Uh,
send another like updated version of my other resume,
yeah.
um, it doesn't discredit somehow. Um, like, oh, she just changed here. Here she said this. Now she's saying this. I don't know. Does it discredit someone by changing too much resume?
No, you don't. You first of all, you're learning every day, right? And every day when you learn something, you can add it as a skill to your resume. And secondly, technology is evolving fast. So what was relevant 5 years ago or even 6 months ago may not be very relevant today. Companies are moving like from, oh, I tell you, I mean, it's like every 6 months you learn 1 to about 5 new technologies. Because things are changing. And which means that you can also change, especially when you're studying now your career as an IT professional. Then you're gonna you may have to do a little bit of changes because you're learning a lot, and then you're working on different projects. But you don't have to change like on your profile. Your LinkedIn profile doesn't have to change,
Right.
but your resume can change, and that's why a recruiter will send you an email saying, can you send us please your most updated resume? And if they have questions saying, okay, so why is it that, because your LinkedIn profile is a reflection of what you have done. This is what it's like, the entry point into your career, into your professional experience. This is what you tell people out there saying, this is who I am. On your LinkedIn profile, do not go into more details about what you have done, but make sure that you show off your skills there. And I always always say to myself that it has to be not too generic, but also not very much detailed, because I want to provide room for the company to say, hey, we're very interested in you. Tell us more about you. Because for them to get interested in you as a professional IT or cloud DevOps engineer, they have to see something on LinkedIn. And what most recruiters see on LinkedIn, it's primarily your profile. So your profile should never be as detailed as like just give them like some highlights of what you've done. And then what you can change, you can have a very old resume on LinkedIn which does not really show off of what you have been doing currently. But what you have been doing currently, make sure that it's on your LinkedIn profile, if that makes sense. Because that's what people they want to see. That's what they want to see. That's what their recruiters want to see first. And then they may download your resume on LinkedIn, the latest resume that you posted on LinkedIn. They may download it. And if they have questions, they may ask you, hey, there's some discrepancy here. Can you explain it? So that's why I say make sure that your LinkedIn profile is a reflection of your resume as much as possible. But it's like a summary of what you've done.
I think that is something that maybe one day if you have a chance to show us how to build that, would be helpful in the future because we're gonna know how to present ourselves to the world,
So like,
to expose what we have, because now we are still at the beginning, kind of writing everything, and then so just show us those highlighted stuff that we have to put on our profile to give a room for us to add in the future, whatever we are learning and perfectioning.
and that's exactly what we have been doing. Like today, use ChatGPT to give you at least a draft. Okay, so use ChatGPT to give you a draft, and this is again just the beginning. So you do that. First, you start with your resume. So always start with so your resume is the first thing that you have to do. So you start with your resume, and then number two, then you create your profile based on that resume. And your profile, you create it on LinkedIn. Create it on LinkedIn. You can create it on Indeed. And then you maybe do the same on Dice. And Monster is also another one that you can use. So go to these job platforms, but before you do that, so our tool that we have talked about is ChatGPT. So make sure that you have that tool, which will allow you to create a resume. And then you use the ChatGPT tool again based on your resume to create a profile for your job platforms here. And once you're done with this, then you can reach out to me. Because I can't help you like do this from scratch. I mean, I begin with something. You know, even in the Bible, God asks Moses, "What do you have in your hands?" So do something. All right, do something first, and then we can schedule a time to perfect what you already have. And also remember, you know the story of the talents in the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like, I'm a preacher too, so whatever you don't have will be, Jesus gave that story saying that blessed the other people who use their talents, right? But then the other guy who buried his talent, Jesus, the master was not happy with that guy, because you have to use your talent. And then to the one who does not have, even what they have will be taken away. Meaning that if you say that I don't have, then that's not true, because every human being has something, some potential. So start with something. That's the point here. Start with something, and then we can get together. All right, any other questions? If not, I'm gonna take you to the last the second big session of a section of our session today. And here we're gonna talk about finish our projects on complete our projects on blue-green deployment. So we're gonna finish this, and I'll not do everything now, but I'll record a video for you guys specific on this. So this is the one that we use on AWS. So everything on AWS, and we're gonna create our application. Our application will be hosted. It's a web app. We'll be hosting this on an S3 bucket. And then we will also have Route 53. Route 53, it's because of DNS. Then finally we'll have CloudFront. Okay, so we're gonna. This is the structure of our project. So the web app, we have the blue for the blue environment, and we have for the green environment. For the web app, because it's a web application, we'll have an index HTML file in there. It's gonna be a static website. So you remember we've already talked about blue and green deployment, right? By using a different way to deploy this, actually Kubernetes, for the last few weeks, and I did an introduction on how to do it on AWS using S3 buckets. S3 buckets will define those blue and green environments. We use HTML files because this is a web application. We access our web application using this language here. We're gonna use HTML for that. And we're gonna use DNS. What does DNS stand for again, anybody?
Domain name service.
Exactly. And what does it do? It resolves name, right? Names, and because computers, they don't go by names. We give them names. Computers, they go by IP addresses. So they talk to each other using IP addresses. But for us humans to know that this is Facebook, this is Google, this is T2S services, we need something else, something to resolve names, meaning that instead of saying 8.8.8, that's a public Google server IP address. Instead of saying 8.8, we'll just say google.com. You see how easy it is. So we use names, we as humans, but computers, they use IP addresses to resolve that. That's where Route 53 in the case of AWS comes in. Or in the case of Google, they have something else. Azure, they also have something else. Okay, but for AWS, they use Route 53 to help resolve that situation or name situations. And then we have CloudFront. CloudFront, it's a service on AWS which allows people to connect to the application from wherever they may be. It may be in China, they may be in China, they may be in Australia, in Canada, here in the US, South Africa, the Congo, or Rwanda, or whatever. And they will still be able to connect because we create here what we call a distribution. And this distribution will require what we will call origin. And origin can be anything. But in our case, we'll be using the S3 bucket as our origin. Meaning that when we have this created, the distribution created, it's going to be like an address here, ending with .NET. So if you use this, you put it on the web browser, you should be able to connect to your static website, which is hosted, see here, which is hosted on the S3 bucket. Any questions? So what I would encourage you to do is, like when we work on a project, so spend time that week to work on nothing else but just this project. Don't wait for the week to go by without putting your hands on a project. So this is what we do. This is you. This is you. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna create an S3 bucket. And this is where you have your website or your web application. And then you're gonna create, we're gonna create Route 53. We will not use it today, but I will show it to you in another video. Then we'll create CloudFront. So this, to create S3, our websites, here we're gonna need one for green and the other one for blue. Blue, that's our active environment. This is where our user will connect. User connect to our blue system. And CloudFront will use blue, it's gonna use blue web, and it's gonna also have green web. Meaning that, so this user will now connect to this one here because this is the active. And blue-green deployment it's a procedure or process that you use in the case we have something go wrong. Our active deployment is down. To avoid downtimes, what we do, we're gonna redirect our users to the green web. So this will become active, and this will be like in maintenance. So we'll be troubleshooting blue here. But our users will never know the difference because remember, blue and green, they are the same. They are the same. In the back end, here, this is the back end. In the back end, this is where we know the difference. We all know the difference because of the labels that we give to our components. And how are we gonna deploy everything here? So we're gonna deploy S3 and Route 53 using Terraform. So we use Terraform to create that infrastructure. And I'm gonna take you to our website here. So if we go here, this is and I have this. I'm gonna put it in on Slack here. So this is where you go to get the information, the code. And when you go there, you're gonna have to, once you go there, you're gonna have to git clone that URL. So you're gonna have to git clone that URL. So you git clone, and we've done this before. And if you're new, this is the command you use to get the code on your system, your local machine. So this is what we have, and then press enter. And when you enter, you're gonna get everything that we have on here. You see, on here we have environments, we have dev, we have prod, we have stage. When you deploy a system, you deploy an application, you start in the dev environment. Dev is short for development. And this is where we test, we create and test things. And then you go to the stage environment. This is where you have a team that they specifically go through the quality analysis of your production, of your application. They are called QA. They work in stage here. And once they approve, they validate that everything is okay with this application, then they will say, okay, ready for production. So you move everything to production. So dev here has these things here. So we have the files, and the files, this is the index HTML files. We have one for blue and one for green. So let's go to the index. HTML is a language that you use to create web pages. All right, and of course, if you want a dynamic web page, you're gonna need more than just HTML. You're gonna need JavaScript. You're gonna need the CSS languages together, working together. CSS, that's for styling your web page, like nice pictures or stuff like that. With HTML, you can still insert pages, pictures, and audio, video files and stuff like that. But this is a very simple website. So what we do, we're gonna have, the title will be Blue T2S services, okay? And then for the body, we want a background color, because this is a Blue T2S service. So then the background color will be blue, all right? And then we added the other stuff here. And then the message will be, that will be H stands for heading 1, the largest font size on a page here. That'll be in the body section. This is the body section here. So it's gonna say, welcome to the Blue T2S services. Okay. And it's gonna be the same, the exact same with the green environment. But the only difference, it's the background color. It's gonna be green. Meaning that our web application will be pretty much the same. And the only difference that I wanted to make between the two was the background color. Okay. So I do that. Here we have the Terraform configuration files. We have the main file here, and I'm using modules here. And the reason we use modules is to make your configuration modular, by meaning that you can reuse these in the different environments. Like this is going to be pretty much the same in the stage environment and also in the production environment. The only difference, in stage, I'm gonna call this stage. You see here, it's environment. We are in dev, so this is gonna be dev, but in production, it's gonna be prod. Stage, it's gonna be stage. I will also change the names of my buckets. They're gonna be, here it's gonna be stage when we are in stage, or prod if we are in prod. The other stuff will be the same. So main will not change. No matter, even if you are in stage, whether you're in stage, prod, or dev, that will not change. Outputs will not change. Variables will, variables will not change as well. But the only thing you change will be Terraform here. When I want to deploy this infrastructure in the dev environment, the only file I change would be this one here. This is what I change. The rest of the stuff you don't change. Okay, so just keep in mind, you see here, this is where you go and you change. But in production or at work, when you're doing work for a company, you don't put this, you don't see this on GitHub. These are kept in secret areas. So you use something like you can use a secret tool where you save some of these configurations. You can save them like on an S3 bucket, like storage. So you put them there, and only a few people will have access to these pieces of information, because this is, you don't want anybody to get a hand, to see your secrets. This is secret. This is not to be on Git. So I'm putting this here just for you to know. And then once you have these, you get them from AWS, KMS, or whatever. You're gonna have to export them in your local environment. So this is where they use the export command. And one day I will talk to you a little bit more about some of these, how you can pass this information onto your local environment. So bottom line, at this point, don't worry about how to write this stuff. Just get the stuff on your keyboard, on your system. And then the only thing you're gonna have to change would be this one here. You can change the bucket name. You change the environment. Okay. You change, eventually you will change this if you want to go to green. And then you use Terraform apply. I'll explain that later. And we have the index file. This is the file that defines your web application, right? And here is a path when you have dot dot, it means that you go one step up, right? So you're gonna go one step up, and then you go into this directory. This is where you have this file. All right, and then the zone ID will just leave this as an example. Record name, we don't change anything here. And then you will have to, eventually you're gonna have to change this once you create your CloudFront distribution. Once it's done, you're gonna use this, and then you also replace this here. You wanna change from blue to green. This is where you come. You put blue here, green here, and then you're gonna change the other details. You leave this one as is, and this one as is, even though we will not be using this right now. And then the CloudFront, this is where you go to your CloudFront and get it from there. So if you go back to, if you go back to your terminal here, and if you say git clone here, you're gonna get everything. So let's move here. So I'm gonna move there, clear my screen. If I ls, you see we have the same stuff, the environment, we have the modules, and then we have the instructions here. If I use this command, so using this command, you're gonna see that we have the environments. As I told you, we have dev, we have the files. This is where we have the HTML files that define our web application. We have these Terraform files. This is the one that you have to be worried about to change this. And everything that you see in dev will also be in here, in prod, in stage. I've not made the changes here, so I'm gonna do that this weekend. You're gonna see that prod will look like dev and stage. They will have each, they will have this. And modules, the modules are, these are like reusable pieces of your infrastructure. So you don't need these in the environments here, no, because when we go to dev on the main .tf file, we will be calling on the modules here. So that's the beauty of Terraform. We're gonna be calling on those modules, saying, hey, I want to run to create this, I want to create that too. Any questions so far? What you have to do, my friends, is, so you come back here during the week, just follow the instructions. Everything is laid out here. And this is what we call technical documentation. So one day I'll show you how you can write this kind of like technical documentation. So you define the steps. These are the file structure. This is the file structure that I just showed you. So you have this, and how do you deploy your infrastructure? And that's what I just did here. And then next, you navigate to the desired environment, and this will be the dev. You initialize it, you plan, and then you apply. And when you apply, you will have created two S3 buckets and one route 53. So you just play with this, get it done. And then what you have to do next is to set up CloudFront manually. And I will explain that in a video that I will record for you guys sometime next week. And when you do this, you should be able, I'll show it to you here. So first, quickly, you go to the environment and you find the dev environment, right? So you go there and then you're gonna initialize this. You're gonna do this, and when it's initialized, then what you do next is to plan. The plan is to kind of like you review your infrastructure that you want to deploy, and you're gonna see here 12, and the output will be, we're gonna get this here, and these are the things that will be created. You can review that. Then next, what you do is just apply. You're gonna apply, and then it's gonna ask you the question, do you wanna do this? Yes. It's gonna take some time, just probably less than 2 minutes, I think. It won't really take long. And when you do that, if you go now back to your website, log in here, let's go to the S3 bucket. You're gonna see that here. So we have the T2S dev bucket and T2S dev green, blue and green. So we have the blue here, and we have our an index HTML, and then if you copy this, put it here, you should see the blue, welcome to the blue T2S service. And you go back here, go back to your second bucket. We're gonna go to the green here, click index, this is the URL. Then I put it here, we're gonna see the green here. You see, that's exactly what we did with the Kubernetes blue and green deployment. So you have this, but now once you create your, I'm gonna duplicate that. Once you create your CloudFront, and you have to do this manually, so that you have one for green, see here, green, and one for blue. So they each have a domain here. So this is the domain. Let's click here and see the origins. So this is the origin that I had before, but I'm gonna delete it because it's a different one here. Let me see here if I can add a second one. So I'm gonna add this one here. Okay, so you're gonna have to select here and leave everything as is. Go to down here, create origin. Okay, it's about time. I'm gonna show it to you here. Okay, so I don't want to mess this up. So here, what will you do? I'm gonna just delete these two here. You disable them. So I'm gonna show you. I'll create one here. So let's say this is going to be the blue here, and you select the origin. Okay, select the origin. The origin is like origin, where it's coming from, right? So select that, and in this case, because this is a static web hosting enabled, then you use the website endpoint, and you come down here. You can also redirect this here, HTTP to HTTPS, to make it a little bit secure. Let's use this one here. Do not enable security protection for now. And everything stays as is. So come down here to create distribution. So this is for the Blue. And this is the domain that you need here. And this domain will be for the Blue deployment or Blue environment. So once you do this, you're gonna go back to distribution here, distributions, and then you create a second one for the green. So follow the same steps. Follow the same steps. Come down here and select this one here. We're gonna also do the redirect up here. Do that. And then here you click create. So we're gonna create 2 distributions. If you go back here, so that you disable the disabled ones, you can delete them if you've done this before. Sometimes it takes time to do that, and then when you see here, it's saying deploying here. So once it's done deploying, you just copy this here, because this is for the blue, the green. If you paste it like here, you should get to the, this is, you see here, this site can't be reached. It's because it's still deploying. See here? It's still deploying. So you just play with this, and this will then allow you to switch between green and blue environments. I'm gonna stop now. I'll make sure that I make a quick video. That will be probably a 20-minute video, 20-minute long video for you guys to watch on, based on everything that we have talked about for blue and green deployments. Any questions? Any questions? Because this is the end of our time together, and if you all don't have any questions, then you have a good weekend. God bless. I hope to see you next week. You have any questions, you want to talk about your resume using ChatGPT, just let me know, and we'll schedule a day and time to look at that. Otherwise, God bless, and see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dance.